You ever watch one of those old-school crime movies and wonder why the characters talk the way they do? Well, today, we're cracking that criminal code. We're going to follow a heist from the drawing board all the way to the getaway. Not for the loot, but for the lingo. Let's get into it.
I mean, this line feels like it's pulled straight out of a classic gangster flick, and it is the perfect way to get started. It's really just a colorful way of saying, hey, pay attention, which is exactly what our crew needs to do. In their world, right, one misunderstood word could be the difference between a huge score and a long, long stretch in prison.
So every great story starts at the beginning. And for a heist, that beginning is always the plan. Let's take a look at how our crew starts putting the pieces together and gathering the info they need to get the job done.
Yeah, every really great heist, it doesn't start with a bang. It starts with a whisper. It's built on this foundation of secret knowledge, a blueprint that gives the crew their edge. They have to know everything, the layouts, the schedules, every single little weakness of their target.
And that secret knowledge? It's got a name. Intel. It's short for intelligence, a term you've probably heard a million times in spy movies, and it's just as important here. This is the information that turns what would be a reckless gamble into a calculated precision operation.
So how does a crew on the outside get their hands on this kind of top-secret intel? Well, they need a secret weapon. They need someone who's already on the inside. They need the mole.
A mole is their guy on the inside. Simple as that. It's someone who has access to the target and is secretly feeding the crew everything they need to know. He's a spy, a traitor to his own organization, and for the crew, he is their most valuable asset.
Okay, so with the mole's intel in hand, the crew's confidence is just through the roof. They've got the blueprint, they know the schedule, they know all the weak spots. Now they just have to do one thing.
And that one thing is to pull off a heist. What's so interesting about this phrase is that pull off means to succeed, usually against the odds. And a heist isn't just any robbery. It's a complex, planned one. So the phrase itself kind of implies skill and, hopefully, success.
But of course, there's always a risk. The stakes couldn't be any higher. One mistake, one little slip-up, and it's not just about a failed payday. No, it means getting caught and going right back to a place they know all too well.
The slammer. It's such a classic, gritty slang term for prison. You can almost hear the sound of a cell door closing just in the word itself, can't you? It's got so much more punch than just saying jail.
And the slammer is definitely not alone. This world is just full of colorful terms for prison. You might hear him talk about the big house, or maybe just lockup. Each one paints a slightly different picture of the exact same grim reality.
Okay, so the intel is gathered, the stakes are set. Let's move to Act 2 and see how this all builds. It's time for the heist itself. And this plan is, well, you'll see. It's something else.
So here it is in all its glory. First, the lookout gives a signal. Then, a guy named Ralph gets in a box. The box gets delivered. He cracks the safe, gets back in the box, and then just waits for pickup. Simple, right? I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
But this entire kind of crazy machine of a plan, it all depends on one single moment. That first step is absolutely the most critical. It all kicks off with that one signal from the lookout.
And that signal is called the go-ahead. It's just permission to start. In this case, it's a specific action, taking off a hat, scratching your head. But the term go-ahead can be used for any signal that means it's time to move.
So what makes this whole man-in-a-box scheme even possible? Well, the mole's intel revealed the perfect opportunity. The manager has this little habit of leaving early for a very specific reason.
He's having a romantic rendezvous. Now, that's a French word we use in English for any planned meeting, but it often has that romantic, kind of secretive vibe to it. In this case, that rendezvous is the key that unlocks the whole heist.
So, the plan is in motion, the box is delivered, Ralph does his thing. The next morning, the crew gets back together. Everything seems like it's gone perfectly. But, in every great heist story, there's always a twist.
And you can just hear the confidence in their voices. They're celebrating. They truly believe they've pulled it off flawlessly. And the key phrase here is, without a hitch. To go off without a hitch means it was absolutely perfect. No surprises, no problems, no unexpected obstacles. The plan unfolded exactly the way they drew it up. Or so they think.
This just perfectly captures that calm before the storm. The crew is on top of the world. They're opening the box to greet their hero Ralph and get ready to count all that money. The plan was perfect.
So what on earth could have possibly gone wrong?
And there it is, the fatal flaw. Oh, poor Ralph. He went through the whole elaborate plan. He got in the box, he cracked the safe, but he forgot the one thing, the only thing he was in there to do. He forgot the money.
And just like that, the perfect heist completely falls apart. It's a pretty comical failure, sure, but it really shows you how much flavor this special vocabulary adds to the story. From the initial intel all the way to avoiding the slammer, this lingo builds a believable and, in this case, a hilarious world.
You see, this kind of language does more than just tell a story. It builds an entire world. And every world has its own unique dialect. So that leaves me with one final question for you. What's the most memorable piece of slang you've ever picked up from watching a movie? Thanks for tuning in.